everybody. Well, this is a bit random, isn't it? I wasn't expecting to do this. I've been planning to do a random live stream for a while, but it's just fitting it in around everything. And then I thought, you know what, I'm in the middle of designing a board game, so you can we can sit and chat and live stream at the same time, and you can watch me just put my board together for my board game. So that was the idea. Hello Joanne, good morning. I'm just saying it's a very random live stream. It's not a proper like tutorial, it's just me crafting and chatting and completing my board game at the same time. So that's the plan. That's the plan. So this is 1/4 of my board, and I've got other ones here. I'll show you my other ones. I've done the other 3. This is another 1/4 of my board. So they will eventually go together like this. Oh, it's so big you can't even fit it all in. But I've got obviously 4 in total. Hi Dee from 6 AM. I know it's early. I was planning to do it a bit different time to what I normally do, but it's ended up being kind of the same kind of time that I normally do my live streams. But anyway, yeah, it's not a normal live stream. It's a random one. It's just a random one. Yeah, I just thought I may as well sit and craft and chat whilst doing this. But so quite often I'm doing this when there's other things going on. So, and if excuse me if I keep clearing my throat, it's because I have yes, lots of gunk in there. Nice. Right, let me just pop this over here. I need to cut this down. So yeah, I shall be just finishing off this board, and then I've got to make a little holder for all my cards to go in. So I've got a whole load of playing cards that I've made for this game. So these are the ones I've made. I've made them with I did like an easy background, and then on the other side you've got the action, and then I've just laminated them. So I've got kings, queens, and jacks. And then, hi Karen. Yeah, it's kind of a mix of a game, because there's a board game that I really love. Well, it's not a board; it's a card game that I really love playing, and it's called Mao. It's quite an old one. We used to play it back in the 90s at juggling conventions, and but it's a bit of a Marmite game. You either love it or you hate it. And one of the rules is that you can't explain the rules, so so people have to pick up the rules as they go along. And for that reason, it kind of died a death. And it wasn't my game; it was a game that had been around for a while. But yeah, I don't know. People just didn't like the fact that they didn't know what the rules were, and it is frustrating as a new player not knowing what the rules are. But you kind of pick them up as you go along, because obviously you get given penalties for doing things wrong. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And it's just because it was so silly. That's the thing. That's what I liked about it. The rules were really silly, and also because one of the rules was you could invent new rules at certain times. So I thought, you know what about if we do like a board game, which is kind of loosely based off the card game Mao, but is also a bit of a mishmash of other games. So that was the plan. So yeah, this is what we've got. So I'm just sticking together, and the idea of this is I've got to build it up a little bit, and I want to make it a bit more solid. I need I really need like mount board to put as the very base. But trying to get 12 by 12 mount board is really hard. So I thought I might go for cake boards instead. You know, you can get the cake boards and they're thin ones, and you get them in different colours. So I thought if I try and get a black cake board, a thin one, that might work. And I could stick that on underneath, you know, all of this, because this bit here is just to raise things up. So yeah, but I need to make some little holders to put those cards in, those playing cards. So that's and also because I'm going to have 2 decks of real cards, like real playing cards as well. So I need places on the board for them as well. So if it's this way round, I'm envisaging having like a discard and a draw pile, and then the same on the opposite quarter, they'll have a discard and draw pile, and then having 3 piles of cards here going across. But I really need like a holder for it. Hi Louise, you haven't missed much at all. It's just a random live stream. It's just me. I'm not actually making a tutorial. I'm designing my own board game, and I'm kind of well into doing it. I know all the game mechanics. I've sorted out like the rules and all that kind of thing. I've designed, you know, on paper the board, so now I'm actually making the board. So it's not the normal craft tutorial, but there are elements of it. I don't know if we'll get to it today because I'm going to do an hour because we're going to visit a craft lady I know in about an hour's time. But there is elements of it where you could actually translate, like the little holder for the cards, you could translate that into a gift box potentially. So, you know, yeah, I'm just trying to do it, you know, as best I can really. So because I actually cut this all out by hand. I did like a template. So this is my little template. So as you can see, I've got my little drawer piles and whatever I've written on it. Oh dear, sorry. It's all in the throat today. Yes, I'd measured everything out. So I then cut this out and then lay it on top of my 12 by 12, my black piece. And then I actually cut round, so I had 4 black pieces and I cut them all at the same time, and that was a bit of a fiasco, has to be said, but it meant that then I've only got to do it once, so that was good. So yeah. So then I was thinking I could cut the red, but I don't have any 12 by 12 red, so that makes it a bit of a problem. And I wanted thick red, so I'm just using this, which one's this one bet on? Maybe over here. I'm just using this red A4 card that I've got. And I'm going to build up. Because the idea is you slide. I've got these air deck cards. I've never seen these kind of cards before. They're like really skinny cards. Let me show you them. They're so cool. So these are the cards. How cool are these? They're so nice. And they're super skinny. So the idea is they kind of slide in and slide out. Where was I going to stick this one? Let's put it here. Let's put it here. So it needs to be pretty much... So yeah, they slide in and out of these slots, depending on if you land on a space and stuff. So this is... Oh, look at these cards. How cool are they? They're so cool. And then with the red ones, they've actually got... Look, they're so nice. I just think they're so cool. So I've got a black deck and I've got a white deck because of the way the game works. And so yeah, so I just thought we'd have a bit of a craft and a chat while I'm doing it. So how is everybody? What's everyone doing? What are they doing on this lovely Saturday morning? I haven't been awake very long and I had a terrible night's sleep last night, so if I start wobbling on about nothing, then you'll know why. I accidentally cut through this one, so, but it'll be fine once I've stuck these down. And it is only you know what I mean? It's only a prototype. It's just, this is really just for me and my friends to play, rather than, it's not like I'm selling it or anything. I mean, it could get to that, you never know. But but I need names. I need names for this game. I don't have any names at the moment. So I need some kind of a name that sums up making silly rules and what else? Just like foolishness, silliness, being silly. So if you've got any names, any decent ideas you think for a name for a board game that is basically about silly rules and being silly, let me know in the chat your ideas, because I need some ideas. I've looked up some words so far, and so I have got some ideas. But yeah, any more suggestions would be welcome. And I was guillotining these strips, but it made my guillotine really sticky because this has got double-sided tape on the back of it. So I've ended up cutting it by hand, these strips, and it takes a lot of time. It does take a lot of time, but I just think it's a bit more accurate. Where's my scissors? Oh, there they are. So yeah, so what are we all doing today? Let me know what you're all doing today. What are your plans? I just thought it might be a good idea to like craft and chat about stuff while I do stuff. So yeah, how's everyone's weather? We've got sunshine here, which is nice. Yeah, I was going to try and do an evening one, but that didn't work out. Too many other things happening. So let me know what you're doing. What are you up to today? I need to work out how I'm going to make the box for the cards to go in as well. So, has anybody seen those dice things? They're like hexagons or octagons, but they're flat, and then you just pinch the corners and they make themselves up into like a little octagonal bowl, and they use it for rolling dice in. I've seen them, I'm like, oh, so I was thinking something like that for the cards might work. So I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Got to work out how it would work, the logistics of it. So yeah. Right, let's stick this. Am I that going to be thin enough to fit on there? Well, it's just about going to be thin enough. Oof, just about. I have to keep turning it over to cut it. There we go. Let's put another one on top. And here. Like that. Stick a few more strips down, and then I'll do my I'll do the card box, I think. But yeah, wacky rules or wacky what? Yeah, that sounds good. Hi, Elsnesh Van. Hi, Tatty Stamper. I'm doing something a bit different today. So the board, I think I mentioned about the board game, didn't I? Because I think I was doing a bit of it when I was watching your live stream. So yeah, this is the board for it. I'm just making the board up, and yeah, this is 1/4 of it. 1/4 of the board, and I have cut too far here, I am aware, but I need to make a little I need to make some little holders, like a box type thing, for the playing cards to go in. So I'm going to have two packs of normal playing cards. So that's basically 4 boxes, because I've got a draw and a discard pile for both. And then I've got 3 piles for, she says, trying to get her brain together, the rules, the silly rules cards. So yeah, because I was thinking something along the lines of Mao, but because that's what it was, but I don't want to call it Mao because it might put some people off, because there's a bit of a Marmite relationship with Mao. So that's why I was like, what else could we call it? And the board is not that dissimilar to a Monopoly board in some respects. So I was kind of thinking, and also the fact of, you know, like in Monopoly you have chance and you have community chest. Well, I've got the King, Queen and Jack cards for that. So it's kind of similar to that. So that was another reason why I was sort of heading down the... But obviously I don't want to call it anything actually Monopoly, because then that's trademark. And it isn't Monopoly, because you're not building. So yeah, I was trying to think of old English words that mean silly, or being foolish, or making up new rules, or... I don't know. I quite like the name Piffle, but yeah, someone's already stolen that someone's already used that for a board game. Hi Pamela in Michigan. You're so happy to find my... Well, this is not a normal live, Pamela, okay? This is a bit of a different live. This is a random live stream. I'm in the middle of making my own board game, and I just thought while I was doing this, I could kind of make it and talk to you guys at the same time. So yeah, it's not... The normal live streams are very much different to this. So this is going to be a bit Bit of a different one. But, you know. Right, this is a super thin strip, so let's put it over here. Because that's going to fit there. This might look a bit weird, the way I'm doing this, but it's because I need these to be raised up. I need these spaces to be just slightly raised up, and I need to be able to have space to slide things out. So that's why I'm sticking these strips on. I had previously tried to cut a red piece, but as I said, I haven't got a red piece that is 12 by 12. I've only got a red piece that is A4. So that's not going to work. So that's why I ended up with this way of doing things, which actually just worked okay for the other 3 pieces, so thought we may as well have a go. Any more ideas for names for this game? Please let me know. Please let me know. Oh, right, so this is where I need to be making sure that we're sticking those down. There we go. I don't know how well that's going to hold, actually. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's only my... It's like I'm not exactly making it to sell, am I? Do you know what I mean? I'm making it to play with friends, so it's not exactly... It's not exactly... whatever the word is. You can tell my brain's not working, can't you? Dear me. Can't even finish my sentences. Right, let's just do this. And I kind of do need to finish the board first before I make the boxes. Because the other thing as well was, I was like, how are we going to put... You know, normally board games open up sort of like that, and then the whole lot folds up like that. But mine's going to be all 4 separate pieces. And then I was thinking about attaching them together using magnets. So that was a bit of a plan. I'm being a bit ambitious with this, I have to say. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So yeah, so I was thinking about having like a magnetic sheet, a piece of magnetic sheet in the bottom of the box that holds the cards. And then that way, where it crosses over the 4 pieces, it can kind of stick all the 4 pieces together. And I was having a very ambitious idea of actually having a heart, a diamond, a club and a spade die cut out. I'll probably just print it off and then you know, cut it out by hand, and having them halfway on the board so they kind of, that's how it attaches things together. But I don't know if I can do that now, because I should have done that as I was going along. I should have taken it out of the black section, but I haven't taken it out of the black section, so I don't know if that's going to work. But I need some way of fixing them together as well, fixing the 4 pieces of board together. So again, if you have any ideas, let me know. Folly or doll? Ah, yeah, Folly. I quite like Folly. That's quite a good name. I quite like the idea of just having like a one-word word for the game, a one-word name. I quite like that. I thought it was quite, you know, just to the point, and it's easy for people to remember then. It's just got one word. Well, I've done 2, done 2, done 2. So let's do this bit here. And there we go. Let's get this. Is this going to be too thick? Ooh, we might get away with it. We might just get away with that. Yeah. So any ideas of how to get the board pieces to fix together? Ideally, I'd like it to be part of the design, so it looks, you know, part of it. And the other thing as well is I need to be able to kind of, not waterproof it, but I need to be able to coat it in something so that it's not just plain card, so that it's got a bit of a, you know, a bit of protection from, you know, a spilt drink, or I don't know, whatever, or getting a bit damp or whatever. And I was wondering about like a spray lacquer. I didn't know if that might work. but I don't want it to wrinkle up when I spray it. I think it'll be okay because I've got so many layers of card here, and they're quite thick card, and it's going to be mounted onto a cake board as well, so I think it'll be okay. But again, any ideas? Hi Laurie. Bedlam. Oh yeah, Bedlam's a good one. Let me write these down. These are good. I like, what was the other one? I like Bedlam. I like Folly. They're two good ones. I quite like Wacky Rules as well. Let me get a piece of card. In fact, let me write on the back of this. We've got Bedlam, Folly, Wacky Rules. Yeah, I like that. Lager. Oh, okay. Now I quite like the idea of having a different language. So that I quite like that Norse. That's quite a nice idea. I quite like that. Yeah. That's quite a good idea. Something along those lines. You're getting the right kind of thing. Hi Rena. Yeah. So keep sending them in, because keep getting them, put them in chat, because yeah, I just kind of want something a bit different. There's a board game cafe in London, and they've got their own like YouTube. Well, there's a YouTube channel that play out of the board game cafe in London. I've been watching quite a lot of their, they've been playing like normal games and stuff, but it's really got me thinking, because they've actually redone. I think I mentioned this in one of my other lives. They've redone some of the Monopoly. They've done like Monopoly, but it's whatever, and they did like Monopoly, but it's communist, and Monopoly, but it's, I don't know, whatever. And I quite like that idea, just taking a normal game and twisting the rules slightly. I just think that's quite cool. So again, something along, I don't know, there's some really cool names for games out there. So it's just getting something that's quite cool. You never know, one day it might get published. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But you never know. I have to say, I wouldn't mind working for a company that makes board games. Actually like designing board games and stuff. That could be quite cool. That could be a cool job to have. But yeah, so any other names, let me know. Any other ideas you come up with? Let's just cut this down. And I know this is a bit, I'm sort of sticking bits here and bits there, but the thing is, no one's going to see it. So only you guys are going to know. Hi Cheryl. Yes, I know. Well, it's not a normal live stream either, so sorry about that. So normally I'd do a tutorial, but this is me. I'm designing a board game, and I'm now making it so I can play it with my friends. But it's just trying to sort out the design of the actual board itself, and the logistics of how it's, the four pieces are going to stick together, how I got the different, because of the different mechanics in the game and the rules of the game, you need to be able to slide cards out, because these air deck cards are actually going to be in these spaces. I still need to sort out the artwork for the corners, so that'll be another job for another day. And I've done my artwork. I've done the so the board game is basically, there used to be, so apologies for those who've already heard this, there used to be a game that I used to play back in the 90s called Mao, and it was a card game, and it's very silly. And one of the rules is that you can't explain the rules, and it's basically based off Chairman Mao, who used to just make up silly rules all the time. You just make up new silly laws, and so that's what it's sort of based off. And the rules, one of the rules is you can't explain the rules, which frustrates new players. And I remember being that new player and being like, oh, it's just so annoying. But it was just funny, because there's just some really silly rules in there. There were also some like basic rules, things like not Monopoly, like Uno. In Uno how you've got like a reverse card and you've got a skip card. Well, in Mao you've got that as well. So in Mao you've got certain cards that do certain things. So like an 8 reverses. I think a jack skips. I think it's a jack that skips. No, a jack's a wild card. So a jack's a wild card. A jack is a bit like you can change the suit. So anyway, so I like this game, and it's just a silly game. It's just fun. And part of Mao is that if you manage to get yourself out of the game, then you can come back in. You can deal yourself back in, and you can create a new rule. And I like that, because the thing is, people who like enjoy it, they deal themselves back in. They think of a new rule, and there's some crazy rules. Like, I mean, we did one game recently where if you played a certain card, we had like 2 mugs on the table. If you played a certain card, you had to pick up a mug, and then the other mug, you chose which player it went to. And then if there was any like verbal things you had to say, the other person had to say it, 'cause it acted like a telephone. So the mugs were basically like a telephone. And so, yeah, that was very interesting. Trying to remember, and the amount of things you end up having to say and stuff like that. So it's kind of based off that, but it's a bit more controlled. It's a bit less chaotic. And it's just silly, but at least people know the rules, because it's based off of what was I going to say? Oh dear, my tired brain's not working. I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah, so you've actually got, you know, like in Monopoly, you've got chance and you've got community chest. So with this, you've got let me turn this around. You've got 3 decks: a king, a queen, and a jack. So depending on what you land on the board, you get different action cards. And so queen cards tend to be nice cards, things like you get to pick up, you know, gain points or whatever. Jack cards are purely penalty cards, and then king cards are penalty, but they're quirky penalties. So yeah, so that's the idea. A mug, like a cup, you know, like I haven't got one here, like something you drink coffee out of. So, you know, in England we have like in the UK we have, as other places I'm sure, you have like a cup and a saucer that you might drink tea out of, but like coffee you drink it out of a mug. So it's like yeah, it's like a bigger coffee cup, a bigger tea cup, and it's got a handle. But it just happened to be what was on the table. So I think that's what I used it. But yeah, there's just, I mean, I've got videos from way back in the 90s of people playing Mao, you know, like several hours into the game. And then by that point, there's that many rules that for somebody just watching from the outside, you're just looking at it going, what are they doing? There's people standing up. There's people, you know, I don't know, with their arms in there, shouting things. It's just crazy. It's hilarious. And the thing is, well, the longer you're playing the game for, the more rules there are, and then you're trying to remember, oh my goodness, you're playing a card, and you're like, oh no, there was a rule on that, but I can't remember what it was. And yeah, it's just hilarious. But yeah, it's sort of gone out of favour. So Chaos, see, I've heard of Chaos. Maybe new rule cards for Christmas. Can you tell me, Laurie, what Chaos is? How that? Because I've heard of this game. I've heard of Chaos, and I'm wondering, because I went on a board game subreddit on Reddit, and they mentioned about Chaos, and I was like, oh, is it a game you buy, or is it just like one of those card games like poker, and you know? So tell me a bit more, Laurie, please. I want to know a bit more about Chaos, because yeah, it sounds like it either might have been one that came from Mao, or it was around the same kind of time. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them old games that's been around forever. I'm just intrigued. I am intrigued by it. But yeah, but one of the sort of bugbears about Mao was the fact that if you're a new player, which these days most people are, because a lot of people have not heard of Chaos of Mao, even in the like juggling world, who we always used to, well, I don't know, it was kind of, a lot of people know about it. Now it seems to be only like the older jugglers who know it, because it's kind of gone out of fashion. And I think because it was just frustrating if you're a new player and you haven't got and also because these days people don't have patience, do they? They want to just know everything straight away. They haven't got patience to sit and learn a game. You want to just be easy to, you know, play and off you go. And so it kind of fell out of favour. So I just thought, oh, well, this way I might be able to play silly rules, but people know what the silly rules are rather than having to guess what they are. So yeah, so that's what I thought. I thought maybe it might be a good way to be able to play Mao, but in a covert way, without people suspecting. I'm sure there'll be some people like, oh, this is a bit like Mao. I mean, those who know me and my old juggler friends, they'll be like, Louise, we know what you're trying to do. We know what you're trying to do. But at least, hopefully, I'll be able to get some more people in. But yeah, your family's a big card game family, and your grandmother only played for cash. Oh wow, it was not a lot of cash, but just made the game more interesting and fun. I can never beat her. That's so funny. It's funny because I remember we weren't allowed to play card games as a kid because my mum always sort of linked them with like gambling, which we didn't do, and so yeah, it's funny. So now I absolutely love board games, card games, anything like that. I was watching, as I said, that YouTube channel, No Rolls Barred, they're called, and they had they were playing a game called Bank Heist, and it looked a little bit like Mafia, that kind of idea. And the idea was you've got to, you know, you're robbing this bank, you've got to get out, and there's some of you who are crew, some of you who are police, some of you who are a rival gang, and no one knows who anybody is. And so you've got to try and work out who people are, and you've got to try and get away in the van, and it's just quite funny. It looked quite funny. I just like just different kinds of games. So yeah, so I just need to work out. Okay, so for chaos, everyone has a rule card that only they see. For example, players must say thank you. See, now this is the thing. That's a Mao rule. And if the rule isn't followed, you receive a penalty card. Yes, the rule cards change throughout the game. Okay, so that sounds exactly like, that sounds literally like Mao. Because with Mao, so I'm going to be really bad here, and I'm going to explain the rules. With Mao, so if anybody's listening who knows me, who, you know, is a stickler for this sort of thing, just tune out now. Just, yeah. So with Mao, you start off with 7 cards, and I might not get, and also because some of these rules vary. So you start off with 7 cards, and you can't talk, so it's completely silent. No one's allowed to talk. If someone needs to ask a question, or, you know, ask to go to the toilet or whatever, they can call a point of order, but you can only say point of order when you're not in one. If you're in a point of order, so if you've called point of order, you can't then say point of order. Oh no, you can you? So sometimes when you can't say, you have to say P of O instead of point of order. I can't remember exactly when it is, but anyway. So you've got 7 cards, and then literally, I think the rules are, if you lay a 7, you have to say have a nice day to the person next to you, and they have to pick up a card. Is it one card? I think it's 1 card, and say thank you. If they've got a 7, they can lay, so you lay a 7, they've got a 7, so they lay the 7 on top of your 7. So you've said have a nice day. They then say have a very nice day to the person next to them, who then has to pick up 2 cards. If, for example, that third person also has a 7, then they say have a very, very nice day, and you have to say thank you. And also the other thing as well was with the penalty card thing. Again, when you get given a penalty card, if you've done something wrong, then again you have to say thank you. Yeah, so that's very similar. That's very similar. The rule cards change throughout the game. The other cards are similar to Uno. Yes, so that's the same as well. So 8 is a reverse. Jack is a changed suit. I think Ace was a skip turn. And then 7 was a have a nice day, and you pick up 1. Was it pick up 1 or pick up 7? I think it's pick up 1. And then if you get down to 1 card, you have to say Mao. No, you don't. If you get down to 1 card, you have to say last card. And then when you You have to say last card, and then when you go out, so when you lay your last card, then you say Mao. So you lay your last card and say Mao. If you say Mao at any other time in the game, you could get penalised for it. And you get given a penalty card for disrespecting the name of our leader, I think it was, or something like that. Something silly like that. Yeah, so it sounds very similar. You're always looking for new games to play. Your most recent game is Trash. See, now again, I've heard of Trash, and I've played a game called Trash, but you know how things get given different names, don't they? I used to love playing, we used to call it Speed, but I've also heard it called something else, where you lay your cards out in front of you. You basically have half the deck each, and then you lay out the cards in front of you. So you turn over the first one. I think do you have 7 piles? I think you have 7 piles. Turn over the first, then the next 6 are face down. Then you turn over the top, the face part. The next card goes face up on top, then down, 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 face up, down, down, face up, down, and you keep going to get to the end. Then whatever cards you got left goes there. And then the idea is you build up and down on the discard pile, and you can do it on your the person you're playing against. Your opponent's discard pile at the same time, but it's like a speed of who can build up and down on that pile, and whoever wins, I think as soon as you've done it all, you slam your hand down, and yeah, it's the last person to obviously loses. But we used to play that at A level, like before we did our A levels in the mornings, like classes or whatever at college. And it was just hilarious. So that's a good game to play. But you do have to be very awake. I don't think I could do that these days. Back then, obviously, young and full of energy. But that was a good game. Another good game that I found, which I found on... Where did I get it from? I think I got it from a little game shop, I think. It's called Wanted. And that's hilarious. That's a hilarious card game. It's funny actually, because I remember playing it and we had such a laugh with it, and then my friends were like, oh, they wanted to get a copy of it, and they tried to look for a copy, and there was some selling on Amazon, but they were like so expensive. It was ridiculous. I mean, they're like, £50, £100 for a pack of cards. So I don't know, I mean, now it might be a bit better, it might not be quite so expensive, but for some reason they were, and it was, all it is you've got a pack of cards with like cartoons on them, and they've got you've got different characters. So you've got a judge, you've got a policeman, a burglar, a banker, and there was one other, I think. Or was it just those 4? I'm not sure. Is it those 4? There might be another one, can't remember. And so basically you've got the pictures of those characters actually doing their job. So the policeman is holding up his little sheriff badge or whatever, his police badge, and blowing a whistle. You've got the banker, and he's in the bank. You've got the the judge, and he's got his gavel, he's in being a judge, and the burglar, crawling through a window with his being a burglar. But then you've also got cards where they're not doing their job, they're doing a different job. So you've got the policeman being a burglar, and so the idea is you play these cards like quickly, one after the other, and then as soon as you get the actual person doing their job, so the banker being a banker rather than trying to be a policeman or you have to all put your hands down on the pile, and the person who is the last hand on, they have to take all those cards. It's hilarious because there's ones as well with the policeman, there's different actions as well. So oh yeah, so no, you don't slap this. It's different actions to the thing. So with the policeman, if the policeman is actually doing the police job, you have to grab a sheriff badge, and there's always one less badge than there is people playing. You have to grab it up and put it up in the air. If you're the banker, you have to bang, not the banker, the judge, you have to bang your fist on the table. If you're the banker, that's when you have to slam in the middle. And if you are what was the other one? The burglar, you have to put your hands up in the air, surrendering. But it's so funny because obviously, you lay the right person doing the right job, and then you've got to try and think what action you've got to do for that particular person, and it's hilarious. You have people just doing a mishmash of all the different actions. It's very funny to watch. Very funny. Right, we've got... We play games all the time. It's 7:42 AM. We've already played one game. Oh, jealous, Laurie. I want to be over at your house. I want to be over at your house. I just long for having people to play games with. I've got no one here, really. Not like proper, you know, serious games. There's a game cafe in the centre of like the city where I live, but it's just I don't like driving into the city. So, but they have a social gaming club on a Monday night. And I'm seriously, I almost went this Monday actually, because I just want to play some silly games. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just want a bit of silliness. Right, have I done doubles? Yes, I need one more of these. That is serious card playing. I know, innit? Joke or Rummy is a fun game. That sounds good. If you make up the rules as you go along, it can be blindside. Oh, that's a good name as well. I'm liking this as well. This is why it's good to get you guys in. Blindside. I do like that. I do like that. That's a good name. Right, let's get this centre bit in. Keep coming with the names. Oh no, I'm just bending my. Oh, hang on, let me just move that way. I'm bending my other bits of board. I'll put them. They're not going to get damaged. I also need some ideas for what I can coat this in. So I'm wondering about a spray lacquer, if that might be a good idea. I've got like a craft spray. I don't think it'll wrinkle everything. I'm hoping it won't. But if you've got any other ideas, let me know if you know of anything. Because I was thinking about resin, but I think that might make it too... If I use resin, it might make it too heavy. So yeah, let me know what you think I should cover it with to make it like not waterproof, but just kind of more, you know, things have like a sheen on them, like a coating on them, just to make them more durable. That's the word I'm looking for. More durable. So if you've got any ideas for things I could cover it with to make it more durable, let me know. Let's stick this down, then I can stick the final base layer on. Right, I'm going to have to go at like probably about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to have to disappear off. I just thought, but I'll be doing some more of these. There'll be some more random live streams where I'll be doing some more on my game. And I'll be making cards and the boxes for the cards and stuff as well. Right, let's move this out of the way. Grab that. Now this, as I said, I haven't got any red 12 by 12 because that's what I really need is red 12 by 12. So I've had to use a red A3, and that means that it doesn't quite fit. But I figured it's better. I don't mind having gaps here because you're going to be slotting cards into there. So I've got a bit of biro on my desk, so I'm not so bothered about that. So as long as I just leave that bit off, the rest. A copy saw that has a large laminator. No, not that I can think of. Is there a clear acrylic that can be used to cover paper? Maybe. I don't know of one, but then you know, that doesn't mean to say there isn't. Possibly, yeah. As I say, I've got like a clear lacquer spray. I'm wondering whether that would work. But I think what I'm going to have to do is make up like a little pretend board to try it. Because I don't want to try it on one of my squares and then it not work. Because that would be not good. Because I've put quite a bit of work into this. And I don't want to ruin it. And I'm so close as well. Because ideally, I'd like to have this ready for May, because that's when I'm going to a juggling convention where, oops, gone too far, everyone plays board games. I mean, we juggle obviously as well, but it's much more of a board gamey juggling convention. So I would like to have it ready for then, which at the moment I'm well able to do that, because I've ordered all my little pieces. I've ordered some little wooden meeples, and I've ordered the laminating pouches for the cards, which I've obviously already made, as you saw. So let's just shimmy that over a tiny bit. There we go. It doesn't matter if it's not quite the right. It doesn't matter if there's gaps here because it's going to go onto a cake board anyway. Because that was the other thing, I was trying to work out other boards I could put it onto. And I think a 12x12 cake board will work the best. Okay, so there we go. So then these, so I could have made these myself, but I just wanted to, because of, you know, it being a prototype, these will be on here like this. But the idea is there are going to be two of them, so there's going to be a black deck and then also a white deck as well. So I've got these. So these are going to go on top, obviously the same thing. And then the idea is, you have it all the way along, so I'm telling you my game now, is that if you roll your dice and you land, you roll your dice and you say, I don't know, you roll your dice, we haven't got a dice, let me go grab a dice quickly. Here's my little meeples, got my little meeples ready. So say for example I'm orange, I don't know. So say you roll your dice and it's a 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you take a card from the deck and say you pull out a 3 of spades and you've landed on a 3 of spades. The idea is you take this top one off and it goes underneath that one, and then you get some, you end up with a different coloured card, so a black card, and so then you get, there's things you can get. You get an advantage for having that, you get points basically. And then if somebody else lands on that space again, even if they haven't got the right card, if they land on that space again, then it gets taken back over again. But the idea is that, yeah, that's basically part of the game. But so I need these to be slidable, so then you can easily just slide them out like that. So that was the idea, and I like the idea of having the two different colours. Just love these. These are so super slidey. These are great. These are. Love these. They're quite expensive, but I kind of understand why. But yeah, nice. Very nice. Very nice cards. So that's kind of the idea. Hi Liz. Yes, I know. Well, it's a bit of a weird one. It's not like a normal one. I just thought I'd just do a quick, like, it's an hour of crafting, so I need to go out in a bit and see a friend. But I thought we'll do the quick hour of live stream, because I've been making these boards up by myself at home. And I was like, you know, I could just do them on the thing, because I'm actually going to be making card holders and stuff. So I need to make some card holders for these. So random, yeah, that's a good name as well. I like that. I like random. I'm gonna have to. I might have to put all the names I really like into a hat and then just draw them out. So I still need a solution for how to connect my 4 quarters together so they don't move around. I like the idea of magnets, so I was thinking. So you're going to have. Let me grab my other pack of cards for me. So you can tell I'm into games, because this tin contains all cards. And so just as an example, this was a pack that we actually played with at the convention I went to in September, and we played Mao. I managed to convince some people to play Mao with me, people who had never played it before. And one of the rules that was invented was that they had to write something positive on the back of the cards. So as you scroll through here, is it this pack or the other pack? Oh no, it must have been a different pack. No, was it? No, here we are. Wear sunscreen. Good luck. Think of easier rules. So when you played certain, do not make friends with salad. So as you don't play leapfrog with a unicorn. Don't make the same mistake. Remember all the rules. So yeah, this was one of the rules. When you land on a certain place or whatever, don't refuse to play Mao. You had to write a positive or like a bit of advice on the back of a card. Don't eat yellow snow. Eat chocolate every day. So yeah, that was the thing. But which is why I had a Sharpie in there. But the funny thing was that this is why I've got all these different types of cards. So I've actually got these. I love these cards. These are so cool. So these are my. Now these actually probably worth something now. These are my Millennium Dome circular playing cards. How cool are these? Look, see, these were great for playing Mal with, because you would just introduce a random, like as a new rule, you just introduce a random pack of cards into the game and then attach a rule to them. So I just love things like this. I've got like Bahamas cards, I've got London Underground. Again, we had things like when you played one of the London Underground cards, you had to name a London Underground station. So it was a bit like Mornington Crescent in some ways. I've got these ones from Norway. Again, used to put those in. Number Snap, we used to throw these in randomly because these haven't even got a suit. So I've got New Zealand cards. These were interesting because these have all got historical stuff on them. So again, they were great. So, you know, somebody had to say something interesting about 1932, or you had to read out what it said on it, or I don't know. There was all different rules you could attach to that. The Bahamas ones. Maybe under the Bahamas ones, was that it? I think that's probably it. Oh, and then a big thing of board games. A big book about how to play different board games at the bottom there. But yeah, just some really cool cards. So yeah, so then let me just take out a couple of these. So Pamela, where did I get those from? I got those from, I think they're available on Amazon. Did I get mine from Amazon? I think I got mine from Amazon. Yeah, they're quite expensive. They're like about £20 for a pack, £15–20 for a pack. So they are expensive, but they're just so cool. And the idea of them is they're supposed to be for like travelling, because you know they don't take up much space in your suitcase. But they're like plasticky, so they're really slippy and slidey. So they're perfect for like shuffling, and they're just really nice cards. So I'm going to keep that one out because it's just a random card anyway, but it just is good for size-wise. Ad lib, oh yes. Game name, bend the rules. Yes, I like that as well. You guys are killing it with the suggestions. Let me write these down. So we've got ad lib. What was it called? Bend the rules. Yeah, I like these. These are good suggestions. These are good. Oh, I meant to put those back in. Let me quickly whack them in. There we go. And the other thing as well was again, that YouTube channel that I was talking about, they played Game of Life, but they changed the cards, and that was really cool. That was just funny. That was hilarious. So again, I've tried to write down some of their suggestions so I could maybe play that again at the convention with my friends. But yeah, that was a funny one. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, my original idea, now my desk isn't going to be big enough to really show you all of this. Hi Glenn! We've got a bit of a different live stream today, so I'm literally going to be finishing in a minute because I've got to go and see a friend. Right, so, okay, so that's half of the board game. So my thought was, if you have, so if you had shapes cut out, so one heart, one diamond, one spade, one club, for example, I was thinking if you cut, and I could do it now still, got a lot of layers to cut through, but I could do it now still, but my thought was to have, maybe here, the actual thing, and you cut this shape out of these two pieces. And then when I've got because I'm going to use cake boards underneath here. So I would use mount board, but I can't get 12 by 12 mount board. It's really difficult. And I thought with cake board, it's already got a nice finish to it and a nice edge on it. And you can get it in black, in red, and whatever. So that was my thought. So then I was thinking that, okie doke, Laurie, we'll see you soon. I was thinking that I could maybe cut through this layer. So cut half a heart, and then on the cake board that's going to go there and the cake board that's going to go underneath here, I could then put a bit of magnetic sheet just underneath there that you're only going to see when the heart isn't there. And then this has magnet on the back, so when it goes down, it magnetizes to this and it magnetizes to that, and it holds the two bits of board together. And then obviously you'd have like a diamond over here, you'd have a club over here, whatever, and a spade over there, whatever, however you can do it. And then that way you've got ways of connecting the board games together, the board pieces together. So that was my thought. Hi there. Yes, I am almost done. I would do longer, but I've got to go and see a lady from my craft class who recently lost her husband. I haven't spoken to her for ages because she can't go online to do craft class anymore, and she's desperately lonely, bless her. So I'm going to pop in and see her. So yeah, so I need to pop off in a bit, but I might be back later on today if I get a chance. I might come on later on and do a bit more because I really want to get this done. And I kind of have been, my mojo's been a bit rubbish for crafting, just with lack of sleep and things going on and whatever. So I just thought, let's just carry on with the game because I kind of feel like I want to do the game at the moment. So yeah, so I thought I'd have a go. So that was my thought with sticking the board together, and I quite like that idea. And then with regards to what to coat it in, let me show you what I've got and see what you think. It's not that one. Where has it gone? Here it is. So this is what I've got. A lacquer spray. Quick dry, easy to use, interior and exterior. First of all, primer, spray clear lacquer. So this is what I thought I might be able to use. Tough, hard wearing finish, interior or exterior, non-yellowing, quick and easy to use, quick drying. So I wondered about using this. I wonder if that might work. What do we think? Do we think that might work? I don't think it's going to warp the board because, as I said, I've got like, I mean, at the moment I've got, I think the black card is about a 300 GSM. This card is about a 300, maybe a bit more, 300 maybe again. And then I've got 2 layers of 330 GSM. So then you've basically got here, this is really, and then because I've used that double-sided adhesive tape and also the Yoo-hoo glue as well in places, it's really quite solid. So that is almost, I would say that's about as thick as mount board now. So I'm thinking that if I spray with this, it's not gonna warp it. But yeah, I think I will try it on a sample. So I think if I just use all the card layers I've got already and kind of do a rough, you know, maybe do like a section like this. Because the other thing I was thinking, if I can get it so it goes, you know, it kind of goes into all the layers as well, that would be good. So maybe I just need to make like a section like that of the board or whatever, and then spray it and see. Because I could always heat emboss these shapes. That might be quite nice actually, because they'd be a bit more shiny, a bit more raised. Could use UTE on them, and then they would go in there. And then you then have your, so in the middle here, you can have one there, and the other 2. One there, and one there. Not that you can see them, but you have 3 at the top like that. And then the card decks would have to go here. So you're going to have a discard there and a drawer there, and the same in this corner, opposite corners. And then you've got your, I think I'm doing it hearts. Let me see what I said. I think it was hearts. Hearts, then clubs, diamonds, spades, I think was the way I had it. You have a quick look. Yeah, definitely going to try it. Where's my little picture gone? Here it is. Yeah, so it'd be, this would be your starting place. It's also going to be a king. It's going to be a consequence kind of place. And then you've got, yeah, hearts here, clubs here, diamonds over there, and then on a Monopoly board where you have all the posh residences, that will be spades. Yeah, so that's the sort of idea, without going into too much detail, but I'm quite excited about this. I really am. So yeah, so next I need to obviously cut these bits out, make these pieces. So I've already got a heart, so I'm going to use, these are from ages ago, these are from a window display I never ended up using in the end, but I'm going to use one of them for this. I need to make a diamond, a spade and a club in similar size, and then I need to make so I could just have these on the board, but I quite like, because they're slippy and slidey, because I've laminated them, I kind of quite wanted to have a little box for them to sit in. And so yeah, and I was thinking of either a box that's similar to this, so this kind of a box, you know, where it opens up like this, because I need something I can store flat. So either like that, obviously not with the lid, but something like that, and maybe put Velcro dots, or have these going outwards instead. Those of you who know about like board games and dice and whatever, there's, as I said before, there's like a dice box you can roll dice into. It's usually like octagonal, I think, and each of the corners, they all stick out, and that means you can lay it flat to go in the box, or it can be made up. It's got little magnets in it, so that's the other option, is having that. So that was my thought for these, so having separate boxes, one for each of them. And then I think the draw and discard piles will probably just be as they are, probably just put something on the actual board itself, so you know where to place the cards. But yeah, it looks like it's going to fit, which is good. It's going to be quite a big board, but I couldn't really afford to go any less than 12 by 12 because of the air deck cards. So yeah, we're getting there. Slowly we are getting there, bit by bit. I'm just excited. When I had when the air deck cards came through, I was so excited. I mean, ultimately I might be able to make my own, because all of these pieces that I cut out, I kept them all. So I've kept all of those pieces. So they are basically the same size as air decks. So I could make my own artwork on them if I get time, if I want to. The other thing as well I thought about doing, which I should have done I kind of feel like I wanted to do. So on these originally looked like this. So that was the artwork I used on them originally. But then I was like, I don't know if there's any kind of copyright, or, I mean, it's only for me, it's not like I'm selling it, but just going forward, I thought, I don't know if there's any copyright for queens. And also this ended up being too big for the laminating pouch. It didn't really fit. It was the wrong kind of shape and size. So I was trying to work out what I could do. So then I've done like a AI all over pattern. But the only thing is with that, it says Queen very differently across it, but I couldn't get the lining up right. So I've ended up doing like an all-over pattern. You got the Q, so you can tell it is a Queen, but it's just they're quite similar. So I was thinking I maybe should have done a stamped and heat embossed red Q or a K or a J or whatever, just on the back of each card before I put them in the pouches. But then I was thinking, if I laminate them and I've heat embossed them, is the heat embossing just going to go bleh? So I was like, maybe not. And I actually only thought about it afterwards. So yeah, so they might have to stay as they are. But yeah, that's another thing to think about. Oh my goodness! So lots to think about. I do like the artwork on this. I think it's a bit clearer, but it's just they didn't line up. You know, the actual things didn't line up with the. I actually printed these off as one sheet, and then the consequences as another sheet, and then cut them all out, did all the corners. This took me hours to do this, and now I'm not using them. But anyway, never mind. Such is life. Such is life. But yeah, so there you go. So I'm going to have to poodle off, because as I said, I need to go and visit this lady. But I might be back on later on. As long as things don't kick off here at home, I will be back later on, and we'll do a bit more on it. I think we'll probably make the boxes for these. See, again, that's not really a craft, you know, I'm doing it for my game, but you could use the same pattern for a gift box if you wanted to. So although it's not actual craft, it's an idea you could use. So I'm going to have a bit of a play with doing this kind of thing, this kind of a box. And I quite like the idea of doing the other one with the things sticking out, the corners going the other way. So I might have an experiment with that, and maybe with Velcro or magnets. Probably magnets, actually, probably easier. But yeah, So there you go. Cold laminating pouches. Oh, oh, are they like the self-adhesive ones? I did think about those, but then I was like, oh, bubbles, and I really didn't have time for bubbles. So I kind of sacked that idea off. But is that what cold laminating pouches are? Potentially. Yes, okay, yeah. I did see those. But I just thought, I know that I'm going to end up with a disaster with those. Because as soon as you put the paper in, you're kind of committed to wherever it's stuck. Whereas with these, I was putting them in, and like, oh, that's slightly wonky, so I just open it slightly, move it, and then like, yeah, that's about right, and then stuck them through. The only problem I had with these was I put them through, and then sometimes they'd get a bit crunkled, like the corners would get a bit crunkled. But I kind of managed to solve it by just turning it around and putting it back through again the other way, and then it would iron it out again. So, oh, your dollar store has them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think ours does. I've had to order mine from like online. So yeah, so there you go. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Not for today necessarily, but definitely for now. And I may be back later on. I'm just so pleased I've got these done now. They look really good. They look way better than I was hoping they would look. I just wanted to keep it nice and clean. I was trying to keep the colour scheme to like red, white and black. Obviously got these chrome. See, that's why I wasn't sure about these. I'm not particularly happy on the design of the back of these cards, but it's fine. For now, for a prototype, they're fine. And they're nice and durable. And my air decks, I'm really pleased with the air decks. I love the black ones. I've showed you the black, they're really cool. So yeah, so there you go. So I may well be back later. We will see how the day progresses. If not, there'll be another random live stream at some point. I don't know when. It's just a case of when I can fit it in with everything else. But yeah, but thank you for joining me for this random live stream on a Saturday morning here in a sunny UK. Well, it's sunny here anyway, which is nice. And I will join you all, see you all later. If you have any more ideas, just let me know. If you're watching this on replay, let me know any ideas you've got for ways to seal the board. I need to know about that. Any ideas you have with, I don't know, just anything in names. Any ideas you come up with, let me know. And yeah. I'm quite looking forward to this. It's going to be quite exciting. I'll try and send some your way. I will. Right, I shall see you all another time. Definitely on Tuesday. See you definitely on Tuesday. Normal live stream on Tuesday. There'll be a video going out tomorrow as normal. And then there'll be a random live stream that will pop up at some random time. So make sure your notifications are turned on and all so that you don't miss anything. And yeah, see you all next time, people. Bye, everyone.